Hello Heart of Tarot people, and hello my mystery school. Today I wanted to have a look at something that I find really concerning. Why are there trolls? Now, we know they're there because the internet gives them access and there's isolated people and they're acting out. But really, why is there so much hatred? So I'm using my Starman deck and I really want to have a look at what's behind this trolling. Six of Swords, Queen of Cups, Prince of Swords, and Death. Ooh. Now, there was a South Park episode where they looked at trolling. And the way they explained it was the politically correct crowd had gone overboard. And this was a reaction to that. And looking at this, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking of this South Park episode. Six of Swords in the past. This is the card that's moving on, hopefully to a better place. But behind that, there's this story of sadness and isolation. I use the Six of Swords to describe refugees and immigration, displacement, homelessness. So in this card, we can see this little figure is posturing at the god. And I wonder if it's this feeling of the loss of spirituality and the loss of connection. People moved in and looking for home. Here we have the Queen of Cups. And she's that ever-flowing, loving, generous, ever supportive. Look at her pose there. She's all giving, all creative. And this lush flowing abundance around her. So that's what they're looking for. The challenge is the Prince of Swords. And this is that youthful, teenage rebellion. Look, he looks like Iggy Pop or, a rock star that's living on the edge. The Prince of Swords is also known as the spy in the camp. So the challenge is these people are looking for a voice and they're acting out this kind of really nihilistic rebellion. You can see dynamite down there. They're looking to blow things up, but they're not mature. The crow here is the messenger. And look, right behind there. Oh, there we go. Sorry about that. Right behind there, if I get that in focus, there's sort of this Jesus image. I wonder if it's this loss of spirituality. The outcome is death. So looking for change, looking to smash things down, cause loss and destruction. We saw that destruction here. And looking for a way to make change. So what is the change that they want? Seven of Cups. They don't know. They don't know who they are. They don't know what they want. There's an illusion and a delusion around them. Nine of Pentacles, that everyone else in the world is living in this garden of splendor. So it's like envy and jealousy for what they think they're missing out on, this connection. And somehow trolling makes them feel connected. So I guess I want to have a look at that. Why does trolling make them feel connected? And what else can be offered that might change that behaviour? And I'm viewing it, I'm judging it as destructive, but where they're coming from, I guess it's a way to express. Actually, one thing I'm curious about, is this a generational thing? I'm just going to have a quick look at that. I know all ages, all every kind of person is involved in that trolling. Oh, we've got the same cards. Six of Swords, Princess of Wands and the Star. Is this generational? There is that youthful getting back and the loss of spirituality. And Princess of Wands says they're really looking for connection. Is it generational? She's also youthful. The Star is a yes card. And it's what's going on while there's so much change and transition in the world. And these sort of infant mentality trying to fight back at the gods and the authorities. But the outcome here is it generational. The Star says this will heal, this will pass. This is people seeking that a spiritual form in the darkness. And I guess if I looked at trolling as someone trying to reach a spiritual connection, then I'd look at it in a different way. So maybe that's my next question. How can I change my behaviour to ultimately heal that wound that people who feel it necessary to troll or express themselves in hateful ways? How can I change my behaviour? What needs to happen for me? And for me, I guess I'm representing anyone else who finds it really concerning. Prince of Wands, Princess of Swords, and the Nine of Wands. Both of these, again, are that youthful energy. And it's the energy of expression and different ways of thinking, to embrace that, kind of exuberance that comes out of that. Now, I find that hard because it's coming from fear and hatred rather than love. And at the end, it's got, Nine of Wands is this defense card, feeling embattled and weary, but putting up a protection, but also seeing it as defensive behaviour rather than attacking behaviour. Now, I notice in this, I kind of haven't gone down the way of looking at all the bots that are stirring up trouble, and they're organised through governments and anti-government, and they're organised forces. In a way, I'm looking at more the individual person typing away on their computer in the night, looking to disrupt and cause harm and hurt. So if I'm to look at it as youthful expression and as a defense rather than an attack, King of Wands, yeah, I'll be able to overcome and rise above that and direct the course of conversation into more constructive ways of communicating. I guess that's what bothers me. It's not a constructive way of communicating, and yet these are saying, well, it's just another way of communicating. Now, we know the damage that trolling can cause, cyberbullying. It can really change people's lives in not a good way. It can hurt families and communities. And the people who've done it grow up later to say how ashamed they are of it. So just something for those people. That feel the need to express themselves that way. Ace of Cups, beautiful love. Three of Pentacles, collaboration. And the Empress. This is beautiful. This is healing that damaged part that doesn't feel they have enough to, in some ways, offer love. Like on the practical level, the way to deal with trolling is just block them. But this is saying on a personal level, on a community level, to just really come from that place of love that I would aspire the world to be. They need collaborations and connections back in. This is also finding worthwhile purpose, growing up out of that stage. And the outcome there, the Empress, another gorgeous feminine energy. And look, she's beautiful in this deck. That creative force to find creative outlets, to see this in a creative way. And really it's trying to adjust that balance of power about who feels entitled and who feels they're missing out. So ultimately, that's what I'd want to be sending those people, is opportunities to connect and collaborate in healthier, more abundant ways. And also, this is ways that celebrate the feminine rather than the masculine, competitive, hierarchical knocking down. This is celebrating holistically and diversely, finding a way for all of those expressions to exist without hate. The Empress here is saying there'll be the birth of something new coming through this. There's the Tower, also indicating that this behaviour is part of that destruction of the old way breaking down and the fear that's coming up. And then we have the Two of Wands, new beginnings, new plans, new hopes. So the new way is forming. And I think this tendency at this point to sort of really attack each other and get stuck into each other in that anonymity of cyberspace, that will change. And it seems to be a natural progression. So a look at the rise and or demise of trolling. Four of Pentacles, Nine of Wands, High Priestess, and the Starman. There he is. So the turning point is here. High Priestess is where it kind of gets driven underground. But Starman is the Fool in this deck. It's David Bowie. Isn't that fantastic? So it's the outcome is new beginnings. This is a transition stage. Right now it's holding strong. The Nine of Wands actually says an acceleration and that more defense against it coming in. This drives it underground. But then the Fool card is new beginnings. We're entering such an interesting phase of how we might be using technology, how we might be communicating, and what sort of things are important to grow new structures on. So trolling epidemic, I'm afraid, is just a reflection of all the other epidemics going on as we're going through this amazing paradigm shift. Hope that helps, and it's kind of calmed me in a way and given me a new way of looking at it. I'm Merryl Key, and this is my mystery school. You can contact me for an online reading or an astrology report or any sort of consultation, www.merrylkey.com.